project participating to this clustering event are here, so we can go. Thank you. So good afternoon to all of you. We are very pleased to hold this session on new technology for first responder. You will see the outcomes of different projects, and it's really a pleasure for us to present this and to organize presentation and questions. So we've got 6 projects present. I am Marie-Christine Bonamo from Public Safety Communication Europe, and we're working in a Responde project. And we have also around the table the Ingenious project, Search and Rescue, Assistance, Rescuer, and Team Aware. So let's just see the agenda for our session today. Following this short introduction, you will see presentations of the different projects, very short, and going to the main output of the project. Then we will have an open discussion with Q&A. So they are just maybe before I start the presentation for Responde, I would like to say that for our project who are working on first technology for first responder, it's very important to share information, to exchange information. We all have specific angles in the way that we are approaching the improvement of crisis management, but we are all complementary. And I think that it is very important to have this clustering activity, to know what the others are doing and to share the outcome of the project. So this is done also on a regular basis by the European Commission, that is organizing a clustering session in the frame of the CERIS activity. But here we have developed during the year a good exchange with this project, organizing jointly webinars, and some of these projects are close to an end. So it's also very important to show now the end result of the project. So I will start with the Responde general presentation. So the Responde, it stands for Next Generation Equipment Tools on Mission Critical Strategy for First Responder. We are European Horizon 2020 project. We started in June 2020, so we have more than 2.5 years of project, so we can see also pretty clearly what we have now as a result of the project. You will see on the right side the different countries that are participating to the project. And the aim of Responde is really to enhance first responders' efficiency and safety by enhancing situation awareness. So how to improve situational awareness? By boosting early assessment, safety assessment of the first responder, risk mitigation capability, of course, improving and getting the best possible common operational picture, optimal management of operation at any scaling of and complexity of disasters. You will find also on a Responde project a presentation of all the product and services that have been developed and tested during the project. And they are grouped or sorted in 4 categories. So the 4 categories are augmented reality, sensor and wearables, mission critical communication technologies, that is a very important point as well, and robotics and unmanned vehicles. And so if you are interested by any of this group of product solutions, you can go and you will find a detailed description on also the different partners that have been in charge of this, and and who have developed the technology. So to try to present briefly the methodology of Responde, we have a 5-tier architectural structure, and we are covering different layers. So one is a user interface layer, the other one is a comprehension layer, processing layer, perception layer, and network layers. And the solution that developed affect the perception network, the processing, comprehension, and user interface layer. And all of this can be customized and adapted to the needs of the first responder organization, and also adapted to the type of disaster scenario. And then also, I mean, the project is really aiming to improve the safety of first responder and facilitate their operation. So it was really a must for Responde to involve first responder by different means to the work of the project. So we had training session since the very start of the project to give them hands-on the innovative solutions, to test them and to receive feedback, so that they could be a nice iterative cycle to improve based on the feedback received the solutions. And again, on the Responde website, you will find the different trainings and materials from these trainings. We already had 4 trainings, and the last one will be organized next year in February in Spain. We have also, I was mentioning that in the introduction, we have organized webinar really to share the state of the art of each technology, present the development of this technology within Responde, and also invite other projects on the same topic to present their developments. And as I say, it's very important to try to be as comprehensive and inclusive as possible to show what is being done under the topic of this project. So the improving the safety and the security of first responder. So we started, and due to COVID, we did a webinar, and it has pros and cons, I would say. So it was not physical workshop, but when you've got webinar, it's much more easier to join, and you can get a larger audience, and you can invite also speaker from the different project, and it's much more easier to organize, I would say. So we had one in April 2021 on augmented reality, sensor and wearables, mission critical communication technology, and robotic and unmanned vehicle will be organized by the end of this year or early next year. This said, you can see that this 4 topics correspond to the 4 areas in which we have developed solutions. So it's a way to present and to have discussion on these 4 technologies that were developed and used within the project. So beside the trainings, we are organizing also pilots to test the different solutions. So we had already 2 pilots that were run this year, and quite recently, one in September in Greece, in Athens. It was a pilot around an earthquake. We had another one in Cyprus a bit later in October about forest fire, echoing also the disaster that happened 1 year ago with a big forest fire in Cyprus. And we will have the final pilot in Valencia port on oil and fire spill, so man-made disaster. Briefly to present these three pilots, what were the aims of these pilots? Really the objective was to reduce the time needed for mobilizing the necessary first responder, matching needs with skills and specialty, and for setting up the emergency logistics supply chain as quick as possible. The other aim was to test protective means for first responder that will allow them to operate in complex environments with multiple threats, such as fire, smoke, toxic ingredients, having protection against all of them above the average. So they were testing the different sensor and gear equipment. Test new communication technologies that will allow high quality, uninterrupted communication between the command center, including mobile command center and first responder, cooperating and exchanging with drones, robots, and sensor, improving or establish new standard operating procedure for complex emergency and to facilitate the uptake of this technology. I just received a message that I'm a bit too long, so I don't want to take much of the time for the presentation of the project. The second pilot in Greece was focusing on trapped victims, rescuing victims from a collapsed building, and also all the situations the rescuer may face when you have colleagues that are trapped, and also victim rescuing. So again, there were some different objectives there. Communication is always an element in our pilot, as we need to have available and reliable communication. The next pilot, the final one, will be in Valencia. Here it will be augmented reality, applicability in land, rescue and maritime cleaning operation. And again, we'll work also on 5G capability, validate the ability to set up a robust 5G private mobile network in the area of incidents, and establish the safety assessment and early warning frameworks that protect first responder. And that's it from my side. So I will give the floor to another project that can start. I will stop sharing and going back to the different presentation. So if Search and Rescue could present also the project, that would be great.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Let me start my video as well. Hello everyone, and do the share. Okay. Okay, can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it. You can start.
Okay, perfect. So I'm Christos Soderneos from National Technical University of Athens. I'm going to present you the Search and Rescue project. The Search and Rescue project refers to emerging technologies for the early location of entrapped victims under collapsed structures and advanced wearables for risk assessment and first responders safety in search and rescue operations. We will briefly see what that means in the next slides. I want to tell you about the consortium. The SNR consortium is comprised of 28 partners from 12 European countries. 9 of these partners are research institutes, 6 are small, medium enterprises, 5 are large enterprises, and 9 are end users. The Search and Rescue project, alongside other similar efforts, falls under within the disaster risk and resilience priorities from the UN's 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda. The challenges posed due to climate change, population growth, and urbanization amplify the impact of the life-threatening extreme weather conditions brought about by climate change. Even without the mention of the loss of life, cultural heritage and ecosystems, the EU has recorded more than 410 billion euros in damages due to such events. With this in mind, preparedness is key to reducing and even minimizing the effects of natural and or man-made disasters. This is why first responders and rescue teams need to be equipped with cutting-edge tools and specialized instruments in order to enhance their capabilities in terms of accuracy, quick localization, and reduction of false alarms. The SNR project designs, implements, and tests through a series of large-scale pilot scenarios. The scenarios will be presented in the next slides. We test a highly interoperable, modular, open architecture platform for first responders, capitalizing on expertise and technological infrastructure from both Concord and Impress FP7 projects. Its governance model is being designed to operate effectively, and its architecture will allow to easily incorporate next-generation R&D and commercial off-the-shelf solutions, aiming for their adoption in future disaster management systems. The model also supports a unified version of the EU's role and will provide a common framework to assess needs and integrate responses. The framework will enable a supportive approach using a wider range of decision support features and monitoring systems, and will also give the first responders an effective and unified vision of the dynamic changes of circumstances during disaster events and the capabilities and the resources currently deployed in the field. As you see, the project started on July 2020. We are now on November 2022. We have till June 2023. Most of our use cases, we have 7 use cases, 6 of them have been completed, and they will be presented below. And as you realize, we are near the end of the project, and we will continue after the use cases, mostly with dissemination activities. Let's go to the next one. Here, some of the SNR individual technologies are presented. The SNR project aims to develop further advanced and combine multiple technologies with varying degrees of adoption for search and rescue operations. Some of these technologies have never been tested for such a use, and others have already been deployed in field operations. These technologies include the Concord Emergency Management System, several wearables and mobiles, including health, geolocation, radiation and chemical sensors, such as the rescue memes and uniforms. And there are smartphone applications. You can see here the end-user mobile application and the volunteer mobile application. And robots that can serve as early warning systems, and unmanned aerial vehicles with advanced sensors. More of these technologies you can see in this slide. At this point in the project's implementation, we have done almost everything. The preliminary design and theoretical work has already been completed for the definition phase. The implementation phase has almost been completed, as most of the technologies are working, and we are currently at the pilot phase, where we are testing the various components and technologies. We are performing training on the first responders and equipment operators in order to perform the exercises. This leads to a continuous feedback loop that allow the technology developers and providers to listen to what the end users have to say about our results and improve them for each exercise that will follow. The timing of the exercise has been carefully adjusted to allow enough buffer for the component owners to develop working and testable versions of their components, depending on the complexity, interoperability requirements, and need for laboratory testing. Flexibility plays a very important role in managing to make everything work on the day, and we strive to allow our experiences and results to be transparent to encourage their further development and their adoption. As I mentioned in the search and rescue project, we have 7 use cases, 7 pilots. So the technologies, tools, and techniques being developed in the project are validated in 7 use cases, and these lead to an equal number of exercises in the field. This exercise and their initial planning has already been submitted, and as I said, 6 use cases have already taken place in Italy, Greece, the border between Austria and Germany, France, and Romania. And there is one last use case to take place in December in Spain. A combination of technologies has been selected for each use case since the beginning, but has also been expanded during planning to improve the validation efforts. In this slide, you can see some photos that have been taken in the previous use cases. The first one is from Italy, victims under rubbles, and the second one from UC5 is from France. Again, it's a use case about victims under rubbles. Use case 6 was in Romania. It was an exercise about CBRN. In use case 3 in Austria, we tested heavy storm and train derail due to heavy storm. Use case 4 was held, use case 4 and use case 2 were held in Greece. At use case 4, we tested the forest fire that was expanded to an industrial zone. And at use case 2, it was tested a plane crash and a mountain rescue, so in a non-urban area. As I said, in December of 2022, there will be another use case in Spain about chemical substances spill. That's all for me. You can follow our project developments on Twitter and LinkedIn, as well through our website, search-and-rescue.eu. And on behalf of the project, I would like to thank you all for listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christodoulos. Thanks a lot. Now we'd like to call the project assistants to present their work. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Maria-Christine. Just give me 1 second to share the screen.
Perfect.
Can you see the full slide?
Yes, full screen. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So this is Eduardo Villamor from Etera Group in Spain, and we are here today invited to present the assistance project. Okay. So assistance project was funded under the Technologies for First Responders Core in 2018 and had a duration of 3 years, extended to 3 months due to the COVID pandemic. The project was coordinated by the Universidad Politécnica de Valencia and gathered 19 partners across 8 countries in Europe and also in Turkey. The main purpose of assistance project consists of 2 main points. The first one is to help and protect different kind of first responders, organizations that work together during the mitigations of large-scale disasters, either natural or man-made. The second point is to enhance their capabilities and skills for facing complex situations related to different types of incidents. In essence, the concept of the project is to build a novel situational awareness platform that aims to increase the capabilities, enhancing the protection of first responders, to integrate different kind of devices, including unmanned aerial vehicles, robots, drone swarms, but also innovative models. And on the second part of the platform, we will have an advanced training network based on virtual, augmented, and mixed reality. And within this training network, it was embed training curricula tailored to the needs of different types of first responders, comprising firefighters, medical emergency services, and also law enforcement agencies. On the screen now, you can see the main architectural diagram of the situational awareness platform. On the top, the main devices, meaning wearable sensors for tracking the vital constants of first responders. Also unmanned ground vehicles, a swarm of drones and drones themselves. All of this exchanging information with the main platform. The mission management model on the right-hand side provides the mission input data for the different devices, and all of this is done through the middleware, the interoperability framework that is the sensor abstraction service. On the bottom side, we can see three main innovative components: the CBRNE hazard model, which provides calculation of toxic plumes and substances in the area. And we also have the damage asset location and routing model, which provides optimal routing to evacuate or to intervene in a specific area where we have a disaster. In the middle, we have the situational awareness platform, that is the C2 dashboard that gathers all the intelligence and data into one single visualization point that is offered to first responder team leaders and operation managers and the command room. Now, because an image tells more than 100 of words, I will just go directly to the pilots that we conducted during the project. The first one was an earthquake in urban area that was performed in Izmir, Turkey, and several use cases were deployed during the scenario, including the deployment of sensors and mobile platform management and testing of communication at all levels, the receipt of sensor information by the middleware, and injection of this information into the situational awareness platform, the receipt and display of the data filter according to the type of first responder. This is important within the situational awareness platform. Also, safest and fastest routing for the first responder operation, intervention, and evacuation of injuries, and also first responders intervention, as I just said. Now, I would like to share the video of the demo. Can you see the screen with the video?
We cannot see the video.
Yeah, we could hear it when you started it, but I don't know. It's at the end of the description of your use case, correct? It's an image.
Yeah, I open it, but just
You should. Yeah.
let me share again.
Try again. Yeah, try again.
Can you see it now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
we have successfully tested all the capabilities that we will provide to the first responders in order to increase their safety during the rescue operations and also their efficiency in order to rescue the victims of whatever kind of disaster. We have tested here the integration of drones, the integration of real-time video from wearable cameras, the integration of wearable sensors in order to take
Assistance projesi bu first responder dediğimiz polis, itfaiye, ambulans ekiplerinin olay yerinde hastalara daha güvenli bir ortamda müdahale etmeleri, onların yerlerinin tespitinde yeni teknolojilerin kullanılması, bunların durumsal farkındalıkların artırılması için yapılmış bir proje. 7 ülkeden 18 partnerle çalışıyoruz. Ülkemizi Acil Ambulans Hekimleri Derneği olarak biz temsil ediyoruz.
As the first responders, we developed in a completely different way. As a management, is not going to do all the things because the machines, tools, robots will do afterwards. It's only a question of the decades coming.
Dronlarla olay yerini gözlemleyerek, güvenliğimizi kontrol ederek ve komuta merkeziyle yine aynı şekilde teknolojik ortamlarda iletişim kurarak hastalarımızı tahliye ettik. En hızlı ve en güvenilir yolla müdahalelerimizi gerçekleştirdik. Umarım gelecekteki eğitimlere yön verecektir bu proje. Harika bir deneyim oldu. Çok teşekkür ediyorum.
Burada önemli olan daha hızlı sürede müdahale edebilmek, aynı zamanda daha güvenli ortamda bulunabilmek. Çünkü örneğin bir gaz varsa bunun anlaşılması sağlanmakta.
Okay, that was the video of the first demo. For the sake of time, I won't go through the other demos, but this is just to showcase what we did during the project. I will go now to share my screen again. Can you see the presentation mode? The
Yes.
screen,
Yes.
sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it would be good to give your conclusion. Yeah.
The second pilot was performed in the Rotterdam area for an industrial accident, and here we included also another use case deployed for CBRNE model and toxic plumes, and here we can see in the images the results in the command room, but also in the field, and how first responders use the tablet to increase their situational awareness. And in the third pilot, there was a terroristic attack in Spain, Linares. We also deployed other use cases comprising the neutralization of potentially hostile drones, as we can see on the right-hand side, and also swarm of drones providing ad hoc network coverage in the areas, as we can see on this image. We also integrated legacy solutions from the Spanish Polit in the pilot itself. And thank you for your interest and for your time, and that's it from my side.
Thank you, Eduardo. I think that now we can move to Rescuer for their presentation.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi. Let me share my screen. you able to see my screen?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Hi, I am Haralabos Patrikakis. I am a professor at the University of West Attica, and I'm here to present to you the Rescue project. Rescue project is a project that consists of 20 partners from 9 European countries, and it has been funded under subtopic area 02 technologies for first responders. It's a research and innovation action that started on 1st of July 2021 and is ending at 30th of June 2024 with a total cost of about 7 million euros. Now, the project is emphasizing on providing technologies for the first responders, and our aim is to develop first responder center technology tool that will enable first responders to enter the next generation era and increase their operational capacity. Now, in this, we have adopted the HERO approach, Enhanced New Era First Responder, which is based on 4+1. The first is sense augmentation. The second is precise and infrastructureless self-positioning. The third, which is something that we do not see that often, and more we will hopefully see it in future projects, is a cognitive support, and in combination with air interfaces, because all this information that is available for first responders will have to be correctly managed, prioritized, and provided the correct way so as not to confuse them during the adverse conditions in which they operate. Of course, we give emphasis to the communication with the control and command center, but we emphasize, as it was expected, on the ad hoc intra-team communications, both verbal and data exchange included here. And of course, I mentioned 4+1 pillars. Rescue also introduced the capability of extracting environmental information. This is why you see on the lower left point of the screen building black box. Now, this is the concept, this is our vision, and this is the way we are thinking of implementing it. First, at an abstract level, as I said, augmenting the first responder senses, all the senses that might be useful, vision, hearing, smelling, touching. Okay, taste is not something that's useful, but even the radar sense, we are thinking of providing, and I'll show you how later. Precise self-localization. As I mentioned earlier, it's very important for us to provide cognitive support for all the sense augmentation equipment, tools, and software and algorithms that we bring in order to have situational awareness. Now, going beyond this abstract definition, this is how we do it. At the center is the first responder with an aggregator and the communicator gateway. On the left part, you see all the devices that are on the first responder. Remember, our main concern is to help first responders when they're out there, and at some point even on their own, alone. Of course, we take into account communication with command and control. We also consider ad hoc communication. It's the green part on the right between first responders, and wherever possible, if the structure allows it, to communicate with devices that are on site and information. Now, on the left, you see all those tools that we use, handheld cameras, hearables, AR, VR devices, biometric sensors, radars for detecting signs of life or objects near the first responder, dangerous gas detectors, and of course provide them with tactile feedback. Now, the project is currently around the middle of its duration, and you see that very close to the implementation follow the pilots, not at the end, but at the beginning. We go hand by hand with the first responders, and we try to have their opinion even from the design phase, which has helped a lot. So we have 3 pilots. The first one is in a week's time from now in Germany. The second one is in France, and the third one is in Spain. And as you see, each pilot has 2 phases, so that what we collect from the first phase, we modify, we improve, we enhance, and we test it at the second phase, which is near the end of the project. Very quickly, going through the pilots. The first one is about an earthquake incident. It's in Germany, and this is the description of a scenario, so that this scenario will test the tools, the rescue tools during search and rescue operation that may happen after an earthquake. In realistic conditions. The second one is a hazmat incident in a tunnel in France. An attack, could be a terrorist attack, is implementing this pilot scenario, and having participated in the first visit we had there, I got the chance to appreciate what it means working hand by hand with the first responder. So it's quite realistic, the conditions there. And as we move to the next stage of the project, we release videos. Some already exist of the scenarios. And the third one is a mountain rescue in Spain. Now, since these clustering events are also for dissemination, I will spend some time concluding to give you of the opportunities we think we can offer to the rest of the projects for joint dissemination and collaboration. Apart from the Horizon Results Book, where we participate in some of the projects that are already here, our website is structured in a way that can host information from other projects, and we're also putting access into actions that can disseminate not only our work, but all the work of projects towards enhancing the capabilities of first responders. So just last week, the World Forum on Internet of Things in Yokohama has finished, and where we had probably a successful special session on technology for first responders. And in the next couple of weeks, you will see IEEE's IT Professional magazine having a special issue on technologies for first responders. So keep an eye for that. It will be a dedicated issue to the technologies that are being developed. And it's mostly edited by people who are involved in such projects in EU, Japan, and in the United States. As I mentioned, our website is tailored to the needs of other projects well. So we have a calendar where we accommodate information from other projects. So you're welcome to give this information. We have a tablet or an iPhone or an under iPhone based magazine in the form of a flip book. We post articles. So again, you are invited to contribute. And we have what we call the Rescuer 360, where we already include references to other projects. You might even identify your project here. So any information you have, you can share with us. We're welcome to share it and also disseminate it in the context of the project.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you very much.
And I hope I was on time. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks a lot. So now we can move on with the next presentation. It's Team Aware. So please, if you want to present.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. Just one moment. I will share my screen. I hope you can see it. Sorry for the delay. It's going a little bit slow. Do you see my screen right now? Just to make sure.
Yes, we see it.
Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much, first of all, for the invitation. It's my pleasure to present Team Aware project. I'm Monica Flora. I'm the head of unit of European project department in software imagination and vision on short Mavi. I'm the project coordinator. But also in today's call, we have also a representative from the technical coordinator, who is Edil from Havelsan. And I would like to present briefly our project. So Team Aware project is coming from team awareness enhanced with artificial intelligence and augmented reality. The project is started last year on 1st of May. It was funded under Secure Societies Protecting Freedom and Security of European and its citizens. It's gathering 24 partners from 13 countries. We have among them 16 technical partners, one partner in charge with ethics, one advisory network partner, and 6 end users. The project is focusing on offering advanced technology in order to help first responders. First of all, we all know that first responders are the first to arrive and provide assistance at the scene of an emergency, and requires risky operation and crisis management. But first responders often, unfortunately, struggle with inefficient and old technologies. Our project will develop and integrate a cost-efficient situational awareness system with heterogeneous and interoperable sensor units. I'm speaking about drone, wearable, and external sensor systems. Also, we offer highly standardized augmented reality and mobile human-machine interfaces that will increase the flexibility and reactionability of the first responders. The project it provides a solution for to cover different capability gaps. First of all, its ability to know the location of responders and their proximity to risks and hazards in real time. Also, the second gap capability is the ability to detect, monitor, and analyze passive and active threats and hazards at the incident scenes also in real time. Another capability gap is the ability to rapidly identify hazardous agents and contaminants. And also the fourth capability gap is the ability to incorporate information from multiple and non-traditional sources to the incident command operation. The components of TeamAware solutions, the main components, I mean, are visual scene analysis system that's comprised of victim detection, fire and smoke detection, and also guidance to exit. The second component in infrastructure monitoring system. It's tackling damage detection in infrastructure and also buildings. Third component, it's tackling chemical detection system. It's about detection of hazardous gases, but also chemical dispersion of the agents in the contamination area. The fourth component, it's about acoustic detection system. We talk here about gunshots, explosion detection, but also human voice detection. The fifth component is the team monitoring system, consisting in continuous outdoor and indoor localization, but also health and actively monitoring system. The sixth component is about citizen involvement and city integrated system, tackling citizen involvement via social media, but also city IoT sensor integration. The seventh one is secure cloud communication. Also, the overall solution is integrated in a team-aware software platform, being based on fusion algorithms and, of course, artificial intelligence-based algorithms. And last but not least, it's team-aware user interface. We develop mobile interfaces and also augmented reality interfaces. The project is planning 2 demos, one in Turkey, focused on natural disaster, earthquake and fire in Bursa subway. And the second demonstrator in Romania, it's tackling human-made disaster, more precisely a terrorism attack in Bucharest. In the Turkish demonstrator in Bursa, there are 3 end users participating in the demonstration scenario. It's Bursa Municipality, Resilience Advisor Network, and also Emergency Disaster Ambulance Physician Association. In this scenario, it's assumed that an explosion has taken place in a tunnel, and the emergency exits are located about 400 meters of the tunnel. In this demo, we'll use and test all the components that you see on the screen. I mean, visual scene analysis system, infrastructure monitoring system, chemical detection system, acoustic detection system, team monitoring system, citizen involvement and city integration, secure and standardized communication network. Also, of course, the AI platform software and augmented reality mobile interfaces, and definitely the integration layer. I also mentioned here the partners involved and in charge with the components. In the second demonstrator in Bucharest, the end user is the protection and guard service. And the scenario is about an attack that targets a chemical factory and generates a cloud of substances. And the following components are involved here: visual scene analysis system, infrastructure monitoring system, chemical detection, acoustic detection, security and standard communication network, and of course the integration layer. What is important that the project starting last year, we are let's say almost in the middle of the development of the project. We plan to have actually we have this system analysis, system specification, and we aim to have this is finalized. And what we plan it's a very close event that we prepare now in November. It's an interim demonstrator that it's planned to be in Turkey. And the project will offer the final demonstrator in April 2024. I put here the contact details for our project, and we are on also on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and we can see also our website. For us, it's indeed a pleasure to cluster with similar projects or projects that offer similar or complementary technologies. So thank you very much for the opportunity of presenting our project here. And if you have questions, let me know.
Yes, thank you, Monica. So now we've got the last project presentation, and after we will go to the open discussion and debate. So for the last presentation, I would like to invite Ingenious to present.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my screen.
I hope it's okay. I stopped the screen.
Yes,
Okay,
that's fine.
let me try again. Yes.
Thank you, Monica.
Okay, probably you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Hi, good
perfect.
afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Spyros Athanasiadis from ICCS. I will present you in the coming slide the Ingenious next generation integrated toolkit for collaborative response, increasing protection and augmenting operation capacity. So in our consortium, we have in total 23 partners from 30 countries, 10 RTOs and universities, one expert in legal and ethical topics, 6 SMEs and industries, and 6 end users, first responders, helping us validate our solution. The project ends February 2023. The duration is 3 years and 6 months. We have received an extension for 6 months, mainly during COVID restrictions, and overall budget is almost 9 million. So I will. Okay, yes. So what we have managed the last 3 years is to develop, integrate, test, deploy, demonstrate and validate a next generation integrated toolkit. This toolkit is divided in 3 groups of tools. The first group is smart first responders, and mainly we have components for the first responders. The second is smart devices in there on the ground, and the third is platform and applications. So in the first category, we have a smart helmet, a uniform, wearables, smart boots, K9 vest for K9 units, and a gas sensor. In the second group of tools, we have three different type of drones for indoor and outdoor use to provide an overall map before start the mission, and maps inside where the first responders are deployed. Integrated position system to provide localization of the first responders and communication, supporting all the components of the toolkit. Finally, in our last category, we have a group of software solution and platforms. We have a COPO visualizing all the information from the field and from all the components, and a lot of applications such as face recognition, triage, social media, worksite application, multi-level application supporting the operation of the first responders. I would like to mention that we had a rich field validation program, including 27 lab tests that conducted remotely due to COVID restrictions, 2 rounds of small-scale tests, and 2 full-scale exercises. I will share covering all potential use case scenarios. I will share only 4 slides, mainly with photos from the events. And in the last slide, I have the social media of Ingenious, where we have a lot of information about the architecture of the solution, videos from the events, interviews from each event, and blog article describing what we have conducted. So, according to our plan, we had the first round of the small-scale test physically in 5 different locations, hosted by first responders of our consortium. This was last year. During this year, we had our first full-scale exercise in Paris, where in the left part of the screen you can see Malpi, trying to use some components. And in the right part, you can see that the actual first responders participating in the test. Malpi is, let's say, the official mascot of our project. During end of September this year, we had the second and the last round of small-scale test in the same location, having in mind that we were going to be ready for the final demonstration. And one last slide regarding the final demonstration that conducted the previous week. We had our second and final full-scale exercise, where we validate our component, our toolkit, sorry. All the components participate in the test, and we test and validate the integration between the solutions. So we can claim that we are ready to provide the first responders a complete toolkit, including a lot of solution which can support the operation during the real exercise and the real response. Finally, we would like to mention that you can follow in our social media and have more details about what we have already done. We are planning to have 31 of January 2023 our our final event. We are going to distribute the registration form probably during the upcoming days, and we are waiting for everyone to participate and sorry, and present in details our achievements and our solutions. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Spiros. So thank you to all, first of all, because I know that was that long and extensive presentation. It's a lot of information at the same time about the different projects. Spiros, yes, if you could mute.
Yes.
Thank you. So thank you for your patience and attention for this presentation. Now we come to the more interactive part of it. So I don't know if there are already some questions. I've got some that we think that could be of interest for touching different issues that we have all been faced with within the project. But if there are also questions from the audience, I would be pleased to take them. So maybe I will just start with one question that could be asked to Rescuer, for example, or TeamAware. This question is about the gap, the issues that you have identified in your project. And so what are the needs that are not met actually? What are the major gaps that you see? And so how have you managed to identify these gaps? And how your project intend to solve these gaps? So I don't know if one of you want to start and is prepared to answer this question.
I can start if
yes, thank you, Monica.
So, related, let's say, speaking from a TeamAware perspective, What I can mention is that indeed our project is intending to cover different gaps coming from the end users, the first responders. First one that it's very important is related to actually to access to let's say they don't have access necessarily to efficient and also latest technologies. So this is our intention in the project to offer some different efficient and also very innovative technologies, and for them it would be a very good possibility, one, to test these solutions, that it's indeed important, and secondly, and it's very important also this aspect in the project, we because anyway we try and to involve them as earlier as possible from the requirement definition. What is very important for them is also the interoperability and how they can let's say how they can let's say integrate these new technologies coming from different technical partners to their legacy system, to the system operating system, command and control centers that they are already working with. Another important aspect is related to cybersecurity and security aspects that need to be tackled by all the technologies that we offer to them because of their very strict restrictions and the fact that they need to cover these aspects very also in the systems that they already run with. And the third, but not, the last level is the fact that they need training. They need training in using these technologies, and they need to train their staff, not only the persons that are involving in the project, but also the people, their colleagues from the operational units.
Okay.
And we offer by the project, just to finish, we offer through the project the possibility to make this training.
Yeah. Thank you. So I don't know if you want to complete this from the rescuer point of view.
Yes. From our side, what was expressed earlier is very important. Rescuer also has identified two other gaps. One is that in all projects, I don't mean only the projects that are funded by the European Union, there are proposals on the use of state-of-the-art technologies, including drones, robots, 5G communications, or cloud processing, AI. But what we have identified is that there is very little work done on when the first responder carry on him or her, on having all these technologies operate with the first responders, regardless of any existing infrastructure, expensive or infrastructure that needs to be set up when operating. So our focus was and still is on identifying and providing solutions that the first responders can carry on them. There are numerous such examples. For example, there are several solutions, very expensive, on radars that could detect life behind walls. There is no solution currently that the first responder can carry on him or her, and when they operate, put a box around them and just scan around. So this is where we're focusing. And the second is all these technologies create a vast amount of information that when are provided the first responder, especially if they are to be provided on site without some well-organized infrastructure, it might confuse him or her. So it's very important that we quantify the cognitive load of responders in order to allow a modulation of the information provided. So this is what we do with cognitive load balancing, and we hope that we can achieve a very good level on that. These two are what we have identified.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's very important because we need to be on the user side. So it means that it has to be practical, easy to use, and we should avoid the complexity. So because they should focus on the operation. It's already complex enough and difficult enough. So we should support them and not bring more complexity to the situation. Fully agree. Thank you to the two of you. Then we can move to another question because it is linked also related to these questions, but to see how concretely the project makes sure that the practitioners are well involved in the development of the project. How to make sure that there is a constant dialogue between the development of the solution and the practitioner. I would like to ask Search and Rescue project to explain how it is done in Search and Rescue.
Okay, hello again. I believe you can
Yes.
hear me.
Yes.
So practitioners, or the first responders in our case, are trained, are always aware of the technologies that are involved. They are trained by the partners. We have some workshops where the technologies are presented. And so the first responders are trained on the Concall platform or the e-learning platform. Basically, the e-learning platform is a platform that's available to them, and they can learn about the technologies and test the knowledge that they gain on these technologies. Of course, the real tests, as you know, are the use cases, the pilots, where there we can get actionable results. The practitioners test the technologies with the guidance of the technical partners in simulated scenarios. After the end of the exercises, we provide them with questionnaires. They fill these questionnaires to provide feedback, possible improvements, and they generally evaluate the use cases. Based on the evaluation of the use cases, this feedback is very important as we use it to evaluate and we use to improve upon the existing technologies that we have. We build on the results of the previous use case, and we try to, as I said in the presentation, it's a loop. So we try to improve with the feedback that we get in each pilot. So it's critical to have constant feedback. It's critical to get the feedback from the first responders, and it's very important to train them on the technology and to have them test their knowledge and be sure that they understand the equipment, the use of the equipment that they get, and they understand what they are doing, so we can get the best possible feedback that we can.
Thank you, Christodoulos. I could say a few words, and I could only agree of what has been said for Responde, in which we are involved. I mean, first of all, you need to have the user as partner in the project. So that is one of the also requirements that we have to have in all the project. It's very important because it can help to define really the needs and the requirements. So that is the first steps. But the training are also very important because it should get hands-on. And also the feedback process is also essential so that there could be some changes and adaptation of the solutions. So I think that we are all following this pattern in the project with it's a repetition, presentation, training, and participation, active presentation in the use case, in the user requirements. Because we need that to be sure that we really try to answer the best as we can to the gaps and the needs that have been identified. Let's see also what will be at the end of the project, the result on how the practitioner take on some of these solutions. That brings me to my next solution, because that's also one of the things that is common to all our projects that we are developing solution, but we need also to work on to facilitate the uptake of the technology after the project ends. And I would like to ask two projects about what has been done to ensure this sustainability of the outcome of the project and the uptake of solution by the market, by a first responder. So I would like to ask the assistants on Ingenious project to present the plans that they have used within their project for this.
Yes, if
Yes.
I may speak
Yes,
first.
Eduardo. Yeah.
Let me answer you in two steps. First, what the project has done, because we at ETRA were the exploitation managers in this project to facilitate the uptake of the results. And second, also what ETRA as an industrial good group is doing to ensure the market rollout of the results. For the first part, since the proposal phase, assistance thought about how to overcome the so-called valley of death after the all EU projects. This is why a task was included into the work plan to design a preparation plan for a potentially future pre-commercial procurement of the situational awareness platform and a public procurement for innovation of the advanced training network. For this, we evaluated the results of each pilot to elicit a set of gaps and needs that remain after the project and that need to be undertaken to be able to reach the market. Based on this, we built a tentative roadmap to be followed in this to fill in these gaps by means of PCP, for example. All end users and also the technical partners were involved in the design of such a roadmap, and many end users expressed their interest in adopting some of these solutions once these gaps were addressed. Additionally, the project also engaged other first responders, not only the ones that were included in the consortium itself, but also others from Europe, and raised awareness about our results with them. And in parallel to all these activities, we also participated in the Horizon Results Booster that also supported us to improve our dissemination, communication, and exploitation activities. For also what concerns ETRA, this project was very important for us because it also stimulated the creation of a pipeline of products for first responders. And it's stimulated by assistance and also in connection to other R&D activities. We developed a holistic command and control platform that brought the attention of many stakeholders, including local and regional first responder, national police, and Ministry of Defense. So in essence, for the project and also for us, we see very good opportunities in the short term to for the uptake of the assistance results.
Yeah, thank you, Eduardo. I will give also the floor to Spiros, but I think that we all know that this consideration has been taken into consideration from the very beginning of the project. What do you want to do at the end? And we know that, as you said, that some product will not be totally final at the end of the project, so you need to further develop them to have product that could go to the market. So Spiros, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, Ingenious includes a lot of products, a lot of components. We currently have 18 solution products that can be combined. And as you said, with a different TRL level, starting from very low up for a solution which is very high. So also we had the roadmap, and within the project we try to identify potential products. From the whole toolkit, we identify almost 10 potential products that can be ready to be in the market after the end of the project. The products that identified, including one or more solutions of the toolkit, and of course the whole toolkit as a solution. As I said, due to the reason that we have different TRL level, we try to push the solutions that are ready to go to the market after the end of the project. We focused how we can provide our solutions with different business models and licensing models after investigating the procurement procedure of different agencies within Europe, as end users will be the potential customers. We tried also to promote our solutions and include some of them in a lot of EU events and other exhibitions that are mainly for first responders. And finally, we pushed during the developments to ensure that our solution, our components, will be interoperable and developed according to standards to, let's say, ensure that our components, our solution, can be used with existing solution or future solution that and be attractive for the first responders to include them in their solution.
Thank you, Spiros. Yeah, I think that's very important. I think that was mentioned in the previous remarks on the interoperability and integration, easiness to integrate in legacy system, because there is a question of cost as well, and you don't change also all your system and everything. The first responder they have restriction in the budget, and they want to complement what they have, not to replace everything. So yeah, so thank you to the two of you. And so I don't know if we can take another question. We discussed it a bit. It's maybe rescuer participant could help us, but we know that there are sometimes some obstacles to the adoption of new technology from the practitioner, first responder side, because first responder, they have their own operational procedures, as we call standard operating procedures, and sometimes new equipment will not fit with this procedure. So how can we align the things, and how can things be adapted? I remember a discussion that we had about augmented reality a few months ago with one representative of Rescuer, and that was very interesting because he was mentioning, okay, we could use some of the things for trainings, for example, but we'll never go directly into operation with this. So it's interesting to see what is your experience with this issue.
I think this is one of the most important questions that could be asked. And it so happens that I've completed 30 years in EU research, and this question comes all the time. And if this is such an important question, not only for first responders, but for everyone. The technicians, the people, the engineers have a very holistic view of the solutions. But unless you step into the shoes of the people that are actually doing the work, you cannot provide an answer. Let me give you a specific example. In the project, we have this tunnel, and we were invited by French partners to pay a visit and see what it looks like. So I was among the people that put on this heavy suit, with the breathing apparatus, with the mask, with the gloves, I could practically see nothing, hear nothing. I could barely walk. And these people were providing solutions that are sophisticated, so state of the art. But we have to take into account the very, very small details. All those equipment, how are they going to be connected on their suit? Do they need to carry something that will prolong and might put them at risk? So it's very important, and in the rescue, we are very fortunate to have from day one the first responders even criticizing our solutions, and this has led to a very, very fruitful collaboration. So that what we design it with them, and as I mentioned earlier, this Live My Life. This is how we call this small training. Live My Life Day was a revelation for many of us. It allowed us to rethink of what we design, and this I am confident that the solutions, even though we do not have a very high TRL, will in fact be very, very ready to advance to very high TRLs, like 8 or 9 in the future, because they will have designed and pilot tested, keeping the views of the first responder in mind. It's very important.
Yeah, thank you for this confirmation, and I like the live my life. I like this, and I think that's you are right. Very important, because otherwise we don't understand. Yeah.
We hope that we will be able to even release some videos of what it looks like, so that people even in their mobile phones or see what it is to operate in a tunnel full of smoke with all this heavy gear. If we could do this, we had a 360 camera, you will see what it means, let alone wearing this equipment.
But we had the same remarks for a totally another project where people were testing an equipment, and they say, oh, that's nice, but I cannot with my gloves. So that is exactly the same type of remarks. We have to be adapted to the needs. But I would like to warmly thank you all for your participation and sharing your experience, sharing your tips, your findings, and giving us some takeaway. So thanks a lot for this. And hopefully we'll continue our collaboration in the next months before the end of the project to see what we have done. So thanks a lot to all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.